What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast, where we talk about everything and anything about Texas. On today's episode, we got a guest named Bobby, aka Bam. He's going to tell you about his stint at Bloody Beaumont.
Ready?
Let let
Okay.
let the people know who you are, Bam.
All right. It's well they knew me as Ram, Bobby or Ram. But Bobby Anaya. Really everybody
Oh,
called me
Ram.
Anaya. Yeah. But they call me Anaya in the system because of my family, the family last name, Anaya. That's what all the old school cats knew me as. But look, so when I got to Bloody Beaumont, and I didn't name it that, okay? First of all, when I got there, they laced me up. But I got there at 2 in the morning. So they put me in the cell, and it was the speaker for Tango. Everybody knew what was up. I didn't know him, but we knew some of the same people from Dallas Fort Worth, right? They call him Nuno, right? And then his
Mhm.
ace deuce, his homeboy that used to kick it with him was Nino, right? It was Nuno and Nino, and they were like this all the time. So I get there at 2 in the morning, and he wakes up and all that, and he's feeling me out, dude. Like, where you from and all that. And I didn't say nothing about nothing to him at first, because I just want to scope game too. Pero he just lets me know, hey, these are tango sales. All these sales right here are tangos. So you go and just talk to your counselor, and you find you a place to live. Find some dude Solano, because I told him I was running Solano. You hear me? And so he's like, it's all good, homie, but only Tango can stay in these sales. I'm like, it's all good. He goes, we might have one for sale. I'm like, no, that's all good, bro. I'll find something. He's like, okay. So like I say, it's 2 in the morning. We crash out. The next day, I'm running around doing Hollis, but when I come back, oh boy's doing some homework because he was in college courses, right? And he's like, hey, what's up, Sally? I'm like, oh, nothing, man. I got to go talk to some people about making the move. And he's like, oh, it's all good, homie. Just, take your time. And I said, what are you studying? And he goes, man, it's my college sociology. And see, that's what I took in college, sociology, man. I study people. That's what I do. And he goes, you know anything about this? I said, have you heard of Max Weber, Emil Durkheim, Alexander Cohen, any of them cats? And he's like, yeah, I just read about him. I said, give me that notebook and that pen. Say, homeboy, I took off. I wrote about 10 pages, just stuff I remembered, and I gave it to him, and I left, went and bummed a shot of coffee somewhere. When I came back, hey, bro, it was like, say, homeboy, you ain't got to go nowhere. You can stay in our empty cell. You can hold it down for us. So they moved me in that canton, and all I did was help him with his studies. You hear
Homework.
me? His college, yeah, because the Bata was serious, man, about getting his sociology degree. Because with that, you can be a counselor. You hear me? You can be drug counseling and all that kind of holly. But say, so check this out. So we're good. We're cool. And I find out, he speaks for Tango. And like I say, man, there were about 400 deep there, but Dallas, Fort Worth, there was probably about 50, 60, right? And look, in 2012, okay, when I was there, I got uh, popped in Christmas of 11. I got stuck in Oklahoma City, the transit. And then at the top of the year, like in mid January, boom, I hit Beaumont. So the Letras were on the yard. Okay. They had already ran the Cuernos off. Okay. They had smashed some real bad, did them bad with the horseshoes, the spikes from the horseshoes and all that. And but the Letras were on that yard. Now, when I got there, and you go to SIS, that's like gang intelligence in state, right? They already know everything about you. First of all, they just want to see what you're going to tell them, but they already knew everything. And I told them, hey, man, I had, way back in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, I messed with these people, but I'm done. And he's like, well, they're out here. They're walking that yard, dude. It's on you. I'm like, I'm going out there. I mean, I'm here. I mean, what am I going to do, dude? But
Right.
luckily, thank God nobody that knew me from way back in the state was there because I was good with them. I had love for them and they had love for me. But when I found God, it was real, and I'm still with Him. I had to walk away from all that, man. I had to, dude. There was no half stepping. You hear me? I
Right.
don't half step in nothing anyway. But so I'm there, and like I say, nobody knew me. I knew vatos that just knew thought I was Solano. Nobody knew that I had messed with these people for a short while. Anyways, so at that time, like I said, the letras are in the yard, but a new vato had just come from Florence, the high security, the max, okay, to the medium, and he was trying to change Hollis up. Oh yeah, let me before I finish that, let me tell you, in 2012 when we were there were more stabbings and murders than on the USP. I don't know about any other years. I know they went hard over there, but 2012 we stayed on lockdown probably 6 months out of that year, dude. You
It
hear
was
me?
it
Half
was
a
Beaumont.
year. Yeah, where the wardens every time they let us up to go make commissary, they'd stab somebody, and there we go back to lockup. And the warden said, "Look, man, because they got that drug program in there, man, and that's big money for the feds. You hear me? Big money for every unit that has it." And he says, "We're not losing no more money behind y'all shutting this down. So we're going to open the yard up. If you owe money or you owe whatever, you better take care of it because we're not locking nothing down no more." And hey, man, everybody started making their moves. But so this letra that comes from Florence, he starts saying, because look, the letras and tango, they were trying to be cool, but in San Anto, they had a SOS, smash on sight. You hear me? But they're saying, oh, over here, it's different. Well, that vato from Florence, that letra comes, he goes, watch, aquí no hay chingaderas. Aquí vamos pushar fierro. He go, we ain't playing. And man, the tango found out and they said, hold them up, man. We're letting y'all walk on this yard. You ain't changing nothing. If you smash any one of our homies tango blast from San Anto, it's on. And hey, man, it was like this, dude. And the vatos that were speaking, and there were some dudes tango from San Anto, a few, Short Dog, Mingle, and we were all on K and L. It's J, K, L, and M. We were on the bottom tier, and they'd all come over there. I'm telling you, man, uh, Nuno was speaking, so I'd have to leave sometimes, or they'd borrow my cell because it was solo, just me in there, and they'd go and have their meetings, and man, when it was all said and done, he's like, "Hey, Sally, you need to just go stock up on some water and some ramen noodles because it's going down." So I just try to hurry and get to the store. I mean, what can you do, man? But the race, only one time was the race ride. It was going with the Moyos, all behind just some handball courts. They were gambling. This Mexican, they started gambling hundreds. I mean, it's real easy in the Fed. You start betting $100 bills on the game, and now the game's over, and you need to go get on the phone and tell them where to put the money on the books. And if it ain't there, there's going to be a problem, dude. Well, that's what happened. This vato started. They was bumping, and somebody owed somebody some money, so they're like, "Hey, man, get ready." So everybody's out in the yard. You can see people digging, getting their picos out. They're hidden all over the yard, But at the last minute, that Moyo, I can't remember. He was from H Town, Trill. They called him Trill, and he was cool, man. The Bato had chompa, but man, he had them youngs, them fools, and they were just wanting to shed blood. Hey, man, but when it goes down between the Moyos and the Raza over there, I had just missed one, a riot. Man, they said, yeah, the Sureños are there on that yard too. The Sureños walk that yard. They're about 20, 25 deep. Every morning they're out there doing exercises. Every morning, dude. I don't care if it's raining. You hear me?
So
It's like
they
like the
program
army,
different. They
huh?
program the army, huh?
Oh yeah, it's like the army. They're out there, dude. But so they decide they're gonna just go ahead and get the letras off the yard. They're just gonna. So that one vato, that one that came with all the different rule changes from Florence, his own people did something to him, and then when they did, they went ahead and scooped them all up, threw them in lockup, and let the paisas out, dude. See, it's like a merry-go-round, dude. The seats like musical chairs.
Yeah.
They'll let somebody out, and now they let the paisas out because the paisas and the letras, they were the only ones that couldn't get along there. So they locked all the letras up, and then they let the paisas out. Hey, bro, but look how the tango did them when they got out. And hey, bro, don't think it was just 10, 15. No, the first wave, it was about 30 or 40 that came out, and they said they still had about 100 more back there. But the tangos, they ain't worried about it. They're 350 deep. They told them, yeah, we're gonna let y'all walk the yard, but you ain't got no tables in the chow hall. You ain't got no TVs in the day room. You got nothing. And I told Nuno, you're making a mistake, dude, but I'm not going to be here. I'm going home in a few months. And sure enough, dude, hey, I keep in contact. My primo, Mikey Sosa, he's from Foros. He had a 20 piece. He got there, right after I left, like at the beginning of 13. And yeah, it kicked off, dude. The Paisas, they wanted theirs. They wanted theirs. And
I
they
think
had enough people now where they were going to do something. You hear me?
I think the
And,
Paisas started getting numbers, man. Once they started recruiting Mexican Americans as well.
oh yeah, there's a bunch of Chicanos, man. The raza from here in the running Paisa, a bunch, dude. And
Bunch, man.
they'll pick up ex gang members too. Don't think they won't. They'll just act like they. Hey man, I got a cousin, dude. This fool ran West Texas in the state, and then he got in the Fed, and he's running Paisa. You
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, I believe it, man. I
He
believe
got
it.
to he hit Big Spring when I was there at the low in 15, 16. He gets there, dude. And and they're like, hey, cousin. And all the paisas thought, he goes, no, that's my primo for real. That's my cousin. And he knew, that I knew, but he's like, hey, don't say nothing. I'm like, man, it's all good, dude. I could care less what you're doing. These people ain't connected. If it was anybody else or somewhere else, he'd have got, they'd have took care of it, man. You stupid. It is, hey, yeah, it's crazy, dude. But like I say, on Beaumont, man, hey, so there was the pistoleros, there was some there, and the same thing. They took care of one of their own with a broomstick. They broke it, and you know how you break it just right, and that thing's sharp. Boy, they stuck him. I don't know if he died or not. They care flighted him off it, and then they swept him up, and there wasn't no more. There was only a few RUs, but like I say, those vatos were known as jump out boys, jack boys in D town. So hardly nobody messed with them. You hear me?
They,
The
they were,
dude,
they were they were about their
huh?
business. They were about their business.
Yeah. And that was just, what I heard. They're like, yeah, they're on their own, man. They robbed some people, whatever. Who knows, man? I didn't get into the politics of it. But look, so what I wanted to say was, uh, so look, they were politicking, but they kept the peace. But this is what was messed up, bro. That when the bus came in, when the new chain came in, they line you up on that wall, right? So everybody's watching you, just like in TDC, but in the Fed, man, because there was some vatos from the Valle, and they seen this dude, man, and you can see the movement. There's just some movement going around. People were talking. Hey, man, 20 minutes later, they hit him. They hit him up there on the wall, but they didn't. They did. I don't know what happened. They didn't stick him. They tried to beat him up. They were trying to get him off, and they were saying he was hot. He was a snitch. But hey, man, that Vato fought back, and he's like, no, y'all are hot. And he told everybody, he goes, man, these vatos know that I know, and I'm gonna put them out there. Y'all check them. I got my paperwork. As soon as you get there, man, that was the first thing Nuno told me. He goes, hey, man, you can't walk this yard if you ain't got your paperwork. I said, I got everything, dude. So they checked it. I'm a counterfeiter. I was counterfeiting. I was counterfeiting money. That's what I went to the Fed for. So that was all good because what we didn't know was that there was hey bro, there was a bunch of undercover chos there. Like, I don't know, they said a bunch. We never knew, but after I'd left, like I say, in 13, they said one of the guards leaked that list. Like I say, man, a lot of people know about this. Did
Yeah,
a guard leaked the list, and they started smashing them, dude. And a vato that I used to kick it with, man, we'd go up in his canton. He used to get a little mota and frajos every now and then. So we chill. He was on that list, man. Dude out of Florida, Sagastumi. And man, the dude, he was he said he sold pills and all that. But like I say, and I didn't know, but when I got to La Tuna, I went to La Tuna over there in El Chuco in El Paso, right? And I saw a vato that I knew at Beaumont, man. He goes, "Hey man, what's up, Bobby?" And I said, "Hey man, whatever happened to Sagastumi?" And he kind of just looked at me kind of weird. And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Had you already left?" I said, "What? Did he get beat up?" He goes, "No, he got lucky, but he was on that list, that show list." I'm like, "Oh man." So yeah, but yeah, that dude wasn't though. That, like I say, I knew he wasn't. But that was a crazy little yard too. That, like I say, bro, that was El Paso Juarez. Paisas were deep. You hear me?
they're
That
deep.
was theirs. That
They're
was
getting
that
deeper.
was theirs. Hmm.
Yeah, they're getting deeper and deeper, man. I
Oh, I
mean,
know. Yeah, and yeah, like I say, hey, bro, look. So there's an Eagle Pass. All that stuff's going down there in Eagle Pass, right? Okay, so they got a holding facility there. Okay, I was in there when we were in transit, about to get out, and this was in 10. Yeah, in 2010, they ran us through there. It was only four of us from Texas, dude. A couple of Moyos and a couple of white dudes from Texas, and the rest all Paisas, dude. It was bad, dude. They were trying to set a lot of rules and I mean, it was crazy. Hey, bro, and they fed good there. The Fed, they feed you, man. But this place, it was good. And if the fruit came, like they gave us pears, if it had a little bruise on it, they would say, "Hey, re- uh, reject it. We want fresh fruit." The paisa said to turn the trays around. And man, that I remember that black dude. His name was Bucky. He was from Midland. He was in the oil field. He said, "Man, you dudes come from a third world country. You talking about our fruit?" Say, man, they beat him down. You hear me?
yeah,
But it
fuck,
was for real. I mean, they were just flexing, man. They
yeah,
was
numbers.
flexing.
They got
Yeah.
get
And I
numbers.
I went and gave that tray back, dude. I'm not gonna get beat up over a pear, you know. But I want, but like I say, they were trying that out there. But I mean, everybody gets together against the paisas. That's the only time you'll see different razas get together to gang up against them. You hear me?
Yeah, but that's the reality, man. A lot of people don't want to listen out here, man. But as soon as you go in there, you're gonna follow to the people that dictate the rules in there.
Hmm.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
and if you don't want to follow the policies that's in there, you already know what's coming. So it's like
Yeah.
you better mind. It's like you gonna mind somebody at one point or another in life.
Yeah.
So
So look, huh?
so you were also mentioning that about you helped somebody write a book.
No,
Was that
that's my book. No,
no from
that's my book. I wrote that book.
no the other one from Dallas?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh man, yeah, yeah. That stuff.
Was
Man,
that a
like I said, that's where I learned. Like I knew a lot of the history in prison of the wars because that has always, that always intrigued me. Because look, my uncles did time in the 50s, and my dad, in the late 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s. They knew all these dudes. They knew all these cats. And, hey, man, I'm telling you, the criminal world is a small world. When I was on Darrington unit, And that happened. I got beat up. Well, I went to SEG just for a little while after I got out of the hospital. They let me heal. After my face healed, then they let me back out. But while I was back there, and they had put me in A at first. It's A, B, C, and D. And A, they had the cuernos, so they had me in like PhD, pre-hearing detention. And this vato was there, Big Sam Maldonado, right? Big Sam Maldonado. He's from Fort Worth. He knew my uncle, Sam Ramirez. When I said my name's Bobby Ramirez, but it's Anaya, man, my fama. And we started talking. He goes, man, you got a tío named Samuel? I said, yeah, but he's from Odessa. He goes, yeah, I know. He knew my tío, dude. You hear me? And then they moved me and they threw me in C. Oh, they threw me over there with the letras, and I knew a bunch of dudes over there. There's a vato out of San Anto named Gumby. Everybody knows this dude, man. Uh, Dominguez. He was there, and he's the one that was asking me, what happened to you? Who was it that jumped on you? And when you went and took care of your business, because they put me right back over there when they were going to ship me. And he's like, they asked me about one vato because somebody said, hey, man, that dude Ram, Ram and Zeke went and the other vato ran. He was supposed to shut the door so the Judas couldn't get in, and something happened. He wasn't there. But and I told him, man, he was there, vato. I don't know who told you that, but oh boy was there. He took care of business. So they were going to smash him. If I would have said, yeah, man, I saw him running, they'd have tore him up. You hear me?
Yeah, so
Because
you
like
say,
I say, dude, yeah. uh, no, man. But like I say, dude, that world, and hey, man, if you ain't got nothing else, like if you got all that time, a lot of them dudes, it's like, hey, man, they've already committed. They're committed. They think there's no turning back. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, hey, man, look, a lot of the dudes that I knew that I was locked up with, they're doing Fed time now, dude. Because every 3, 4 years, the feds will run through the streets in San Antonio and they'll round up a bunch of them and see who's going to jump on that stand, dude. And there's always somebody, man. There's always somebody,
San
you
Antonio,
know.
man. San Antonio's been. If you look at the news from San Antonio to compare to any other city in Texas, San Antonio news, man, there's a lot of murders,
Yeah.
and you can only relate to two gangs, either the Orejones and the Letras.
Yeah, of course, it's the main ones. Hey, man, they're out there trying to get paid, dude. But look, but think about it for real, dude. If everybody knew how to go out and get businesses, start a business, get a loan, and make money, whatever, it'd be okay. But it's not like that. Or you go to work, you don't get as much as other people, So you got to find a way to make money.
Make
That's
money.
all they're doing, man. That's all they're doing. Hey man, if one of these vatos wants to go and get a job, he walks in there, he's all tatted up, neck, got a big old San Antonio spur on his neck. They might not want to hire him. So he's like, okay, I know how to make money. I'll go make some money. That's all they're doing. Like Short Dog, man. Like I say, man, that was a good, funny dude, man. We chopped it up a whole lot in there. But he was getting ready to go out and he was like, man, I'm gonna go out there and make some money. See, he wasn't trying to hear it, man.
No,
You
you don't.
know, he was
Sometimes you
gonna
don't.
jump right back in the game. Hey, but at least he had like a short term goal. He goes, hey Bobby, all I want to do is buy me a house on a piece of land, and then I'll leave it alone. You hear me? He
Yeah,
just goes, I just want somewhere where I can rest and die. I said, that's all. That's what we all want, homie. You
yeah.
know
Just something you can call your own. You know what I mean, man?
exactly. You
It,
know.
it don't got to be $1 million house. It just something you can call your own.
It's yours, yeah. You make the rules there,
Yeah, your castle, man.
But like I say, I liked Beaumont because as though it was hard, I met some real good guys there, man. There was this Christian dude, and he's known. His name is Perez. He started at the USP. I'm not sure at Beaumont or no, probably like Leavenworth or Marion, one of the old ones, because back in like '79 or '80, he had killed a border guard or an agent at the border. He was a drug runner. When I met him, he'd already been locked up about 25, 30 years, man. And he
Yeah,
wasn't ever getting out. He had a life sentence. There is no, and he's like, I could care less, man. I'm saved, man. I got Jesus. Hey, man, you couldn't tell the vato he was never going to get out. I mean, hey, man, he was all about his business, man, his father's business. He was all about church and inviting people, and he was there. That was his life now, but he told me, Bobby, before I got saved, the first 10 years in the USP, I was still strung out on heroin. He was still shooting heroin. I mean, because, hey, man, he had money, you know, and he said for 10 years I was strung out. But he said a vato that he knew from the Valle that was a straight tecato had came through there. And man, that vato was like, hey, man, I'm free. I'm good now. I just got to get out. And he told him, he goes, hey man, it's real, dude. God's real. And hey man, he look now. Like I say, when I met him, he'd already been serving the Lord for I don't know, maybe 8 9 years. So,
Good,
but
man.
everybody does their own thing. There's the ones that, hey man, we're all about our thing, our tango, and then there's the church and the Muslims and all that, the natives. It all works, so dude. Like I say, it all works because everybody just communicates, Communication's cool, but there's a point. Don't cross that line, and tell people your business. Because like I say, Nuno was cool with me, man. He would ask me, just what do you think, Sally? What do you think? And because we found out something happened over there in Three Rivers, okay? Because hey man, you email somebody at the home and then they email a few people. So the word stays, you staying connected. What's up? Who just testified against somebody or whatever. So something went down on Three Rivers with I think it was the pistoleros, and they knew that these dudes are going to find out. It's just a matter of a few days. They'll know. So this dude from D Town goes and tells this vato, their speaker, yeah, we already know what's up, but he don't really know everything. He just knows something happened. We don't know what, but he's like, yeah, uh, we already know what's up, man. But just and I was like, dude, what are you doing? They might get you if they know they're going to get smashed. They're going to try to get somebody that's by themselves. They're going to go out like Vikings. Why would you wait around and get smashed? You might as well catch one and do something to them so you can get locked up. Go out like that, man. That's what you're supposed to do. And hey, man, and Nuno, I'm like, look, dude, go and talk to this dude. Just say this. I said, don't tell nobody nothing. Just say this. And I promise you, this is what he's going to say. And this is the excuse he's going to give you. Just trust me. And he went and did it. And he came back and goes, damn, Sally, I said, I'm telling you, I know people. If you just watch and listen to them, you can figure them out. And you can feed them something and make them think it's them coming up with the idea. You know what I'm saying? When I was with all them paisas, man, I'm telling you, this youngster, he was 21 years old, dude, 22 years old and running that 75 man tank, dude. And they had rules and all this. And I just sat down. I said, these people they're thinking up more rules right now as we sit here. They got a bunch of them and they're thinking up more. And you want to put one more on this Mexican? I mean, I can't even carry the ones they got on me. And he's like, you know what? You're right, man. About cleanup. When it was time to clean up Telacha, they wanted everybody to go to their cell. I'm like, come on, dude. You can mop around people, dude. It was just little things they were trying to, yeah, everybody go to their cells. And I was like, wow. But after that, the dude was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. That just, it's but I was like, hey, man, it was your idea, you know?
Yeah,
But,
I laugh, man, because it's like the typical mom, man. Like the Mexican mom when she's cleaning and mopping, she would always get mad if you come by and you when you leave your footprints. That's
yeah,
it's like, come on, man.
it's
My mom
funny.
ain't here right
For real.
now.
Yeah.
No, she's here. My mom's here, man. She's still alive, but she
Oh,
reminds
dale.
that she has
Yeah.
that peeve right there, man. That when she's mopping, so does my wife.
Oh,
She's mopping.
yeah.
Much nobody walking by, everybody stay in your room.
Yeah.
That's why I laugh.
Yeah, well, I used to trip out too in jail in the county, anywhere. People were mopping and you have to walk and they get like an attitude or something. I'm like, man, come on, dude. It's just the floor, man. But hey, like I say, dude, at Beaumont, okay, here's another idiotic story. A dude goes and grabs a remote and turns it. Didn't say nothing to nobody. I mean, what's the big deal there, bro? For real. I mean, what's the big deal? Huh?
There's just there's nothing, man. But that's what
It,
I. That's the
but
positive
exactly,
and
it's
that.
nothing. It's nothing but yeah, that dude got tore up. So this is what struck me was another good point. There's a Vato. What's that dude's name? The Greens. Corey Blunt. You ever heard of that dude, Corey Blunt?
I heard of Court from Houston.
They put him in rap music. Okay, he was there, and his brothers or cousins, the Greens, all of them were there in the same tank with us, dude. Hey, that dude, he paid. He didn't do nothing all day. They did cleaned his house, washed and ironed his clothes. He was cool, man. All he did was play dominoes all day out in the yard, laid back. Hey, he got out. Obama on the Obama pardons, he got out. He had a life sentence. The Greens, his primos, they had all life sentences out of H Town. Somebody I saw told me that Corey Blunt got out. I'm like, bullshit. He goes, no, he's out, dude. That pardon, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
okay, so look, that group, I didn't know, but they were GD. The vatos that they were running with were the gangster disciples. I don't know if they were running with them, but they were cool. But this one Moyo, I know he was. I know he was. So you know how sometimes Moyos like to just bump. They ain't gonna do nothing but bump.
right.
Well, one of them got out there like that, and he started. I got a shank too, and all that, and nobody said nothing to him. And he was over. Hey, bro, out of nowhere, three dudes, three Moyos they came with locks. In the Fed, we still had locks and belts. And they came, lo taparon, three of them hit him, and then that other one just come in on the side. When he was trying to cover his head, he come and hit him twice in the liver with it wasn't big, it was little. But hey, man, he walked to the office. He was just covered in blood, and that guard was looking at something, and he looked down and he almost fell over, dude. He ran out and that Vato just sat down. He was bleeding bad, dude. But that liver shot, that's the one. It was probably bleeding inside. I don't know what happened to him, but hey, dude, hey man, watch out. They cleaned up, and we got washing machines in our pods. So they went and hey, bro, for real, that Vato man, el CB, he went and cleaned up a bunch of shit, threw it in the washer, and hit start. So that was all the evidence. Now they came and got up three or four of them dudes because they got them, but in I don't know 2 weeks they were all back, every one of them, because nobody that Vato they tore up, he wouldn't even sign nothing against them. You hear me?
And
So they came right back. They didn't tell on themselves, and that Vato wouldn't tell on them. So they came right back to their house. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think the GDs are, in my opinion, are a little bit more organized than like the Crips because they almost run like a family, and from where they're
Yeah.
from, they're almost structured. They got law abiding laws. They got
Oh
uh,
yeah, they're
y-
from Chicago. I know they got a big presence in Chicago, right? And yeah, I used to hear they be out there like the Sureños working out, man.
yeah.
Discipline, discipline. I had a good buddy there at the medium at Beaumont. Uh, I don't know Blackie or damn dude, I can't remember if it was Blackie because there was a Blackie from D Town, but there was a Sureño too. And because I said, man, I was in Pomona when I was little, dude. I went to I stayed in Pomona a couple of years, and he lived right there in Montoya or something. I can't remember. And so we chopped it up, man. He was cool, dude. But like I say, after I left, I mean, they got them off the yard, dude. They got the Sureños off the yard, and I don't know what the deal was with that. I never did get the story, but they were cool, man. Everybody was getting along, but something happened, and they started just, if in other words, if they didn't have a lot of people, if you had a small little, they were just getting rid of them. And I'm like, yeah, but on the other ranchos, there's a lot of them, and it's just gonna keep things kicked up. But they, yeah, they were just doing whatever they wanted there. You know what I
And
mean?
And since
because it's good.
since there's a lot of paisas, but when you look at the paisas in Mexico, they work for different organizations. You know,
Oh yeah.
they work for different cartels in Mexico. You know, one side of the group might work for this one, that one. But how is it in the feds? Did they all work together, or is there still fractions of this one working with this
Oh
cartel?
no, dude. Oh no, no. They might talk and all that. They're cool, but like the dudes from Michoacan, it's crazy. It's probably wasn't like that at the beginning, but now, like you got the dudes from Sinaloa, they hang together. You got the dudes from Michoacan, they hang together. You know, you got the dudes from Guanajuato or Veracruz. They're all cool, but they'd rather hang with the dudes from there. And of course, there's beef. I mean, on the handball court, there's more crap started on that handball court than anywhere else, dude. You know, because I had a good buddy. I don't even remember his name now. I can see him, but I don't remember his name. He was from Boston, Massachusetts. Well, he wasn't from there, but he was from Michoacan, and he went to Boston. He was moving weight, man. He was getting paid, and man, they set him up. He thought it was his ex because he goes, man, I was still in the county and she got with the dude and got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even sentenced yet. But and man, that dude, he played handball a lot. He stayed out there, but they started playing for money. And sure enough, it kicked off that, I could hear them in there, they're speaking, no, man, un tiro, I want to throw down. And they were politicking, nah, man, well, they don't want you. Man, what's the deal? If two men got a problem, they want to have it out. What's the deal, man? And they're
Let it
sitting here,
go.
no, man, but say, I don't no, say, watch out, bien. No, what don't look good is you not letting these two men take care of their business. But like I say, man, that's why I roll solo now. Just hey man, I'm done with doing time anyway, but I just couldn't stand for that idiocracy. Something don't make no sense. Bobby's not gonna follow along with it, man. You
So
know, shit. It wasn't like that when I was man, it's crazy because when I had fell into this little group and it was dude, it wasn't like all from one place. No, there were dudes from all over Texas, man, and we were just cool. And I fit right in with them, and then boom, I find out that they're letras. You see, but they were hey, dude, I was around these dudes because a homeboy of mine from Foros, he knew me from the county. Hey, man, this dude was locked up on a murder case. They were offering him 50 or 60. And he's like, crazy, crank it up, go to jury trial. Well, all of a sudden, the witnesses out there start dying. So they hurried up and offered him 15, and he took it. And he did every bit of it, though. You hear me? But I knew him from the county. We were always fighting, not each other, but with dudes from D Town. Homie, look, if you're from D Town and you come to Fort Worth County, you're gonna have a hard time. You hear
yeah,
me?
same way.
Just like I'm sure, just like us from Foros, if we went to D Town, we'd have a hard time. So there was a little cat, light skinned, green eyed dude named Morales. Cool little cat. I ran into him in TDC too, but he hit Foros, and this was in '90. Yeah, this was in like yeah, 89 or 90. Morales, good, cool little dude, and he would get out there, and and but like I say, when every now and then somebody would mess with him just because he was from Dallas, but he was cool, man. He took care of his business. He always just took care of his business if anything came up. But it's always been like that. It's just I don't know about now. I haven't been in that county, and man, it's been a long time. Like I said, I stopped getting in trouble, dude. That
Yeah.
last case, my last counterfeiting case, I got it in West Texas. That I was doing good. Like I told you, I wrote my book, bro. I wrote two. The first one was The Nation of Aslan, and I didn't submit it. I held on to it because it was real personal and it had some stuff that I didn't have permission writing about. First of all, I just wanted to kind of okay it with some people or wait till some people died. You hear me?
Get them out the
No,
way.
for real.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey man, once they're dead, hey, it's open.
Oh,
I'll
freedom.
talk about them. You hear me? Like this dude, they didn't execute it. They tried to give him the death penalty, but they gave him life without parole. I grew up with him. He just died like a year and a half ago. Servando Pachecano, and man, hey bro, this dude. like I say, man, he could get women like that, but he went to prison. He went to Cofield, and man, in the mid '80s, it was so bad that he came out, dude, and he was just raping drukas, man, and killing them. You hear me? I don't know what happened in there, but I asked him, hey man, he goes, nah, man, he goes, in the showers that Moyos would walk up to you, be, matando, killing, and and he said he just turned around and start killing on them too, and they just laugh and walk off, but they were trying him. You hear me?
He became
You
a
know,
predator too. He became a
oh
predator.
man, that's what I'm talking about back then, dude. Now you look at a who that wrong. You just look at if one of them boss ladies catch you looking at her, man, you're gonna get a case, dude. You hear me? Yeah, I don't know if it's true. They used to say this reckless eyeball case or something, but hey, dude, in Seg, everybody has that female that will just always chop it up with you or post up or whatever, just cool. So we didn't have to go through all that. Hey, I was in Robinson unit when that man, she married this Vato Williams, but she worked in SEG. She was cool. And then she got married to a sergeant there, and that sergeant was a dog, brother. I mean, a dog. You hear me? He would pull you out of seg. You come out of anytime you come out of seg, you're handcuffed. He would pull you out to shake your cell down, and while you're up against the wall, he would put his right here and go, and if you just turned around like to see what that was, he would say you did an aggressive movement and slam you. I mean, he tore some people up, man. And okay, so hey, dude, they were killing people over there, man, in seg. They were tearing them up, man, the guards. So this Vato, his wife, he married her. Everybody knew she got married, and she went out to work in close custody. Okay. Hey, man, at breakfast, after you come back from breakfast, this dude opened his door, and when she was coming by just checking, he opened it and pulled her in, dude, and shut it. Yeah, and it was on. It took a few hours before they're like, man, where's this chick at? Hey man, this dude was raping her and all that. And like I say, homie, we're in SEG in 12 building, but we're cool with everybody. We're gonna know what goes down in population. You hear me? Through the
Yeah.
porters or law library visits or whatever. So we know what's up. So this Vato's raping her and tells his cellie, you're gonna rape her too, or I'm gonna kill this chick. You hear me? So they said, and you have to know her, man. She was sweet, cool, and she would pass stuff for you. Hey, man, take these books down there, and she would do it when you didn't. Nobody else would do stuff like that sometimes, man. So they both raped, and then when they find out what's up, he's got one on her hostage. He wants Domino's pizza for everybody. He ordered he ordered Domino's. He made him get him pizza for that close custody section, man. I
And
mean,
he never did.
yeah, dude. And okay, so and we're on lockdown. We don't know what's going on, dude. We're back there in 12 lockdown. Like, why are y'all locking us up? What we ain't got nothing to do with 12 with eight building close custody. But anyway, so like I say, dude, hey, that same day they shipped him off that unit, bro, because they knew if they left him there, that sergeant was going to kill him. There was no doubt. So, I mean, when they released the hostage, I mean, they shipped him. Okay, but look, like I say, bro, there's we always gonna know what's going on in TDC. So he went to what's that one right there in Gatesville unit,
Smoke.
man, in Gatesville, yeah. Oh, Hughes unit. Yeah, they used to let people out there. I got out from TDC in '92 once from there, the Hughes unit. It's a max. Hey, so they shipped him there, dude. He lasted a week because they said, man, his food. They were doing some stuff to his food and whooping his ass, and they said he cut himself, his veins, and he finally hung himself. They said, but I mean, who knows? But yeah, he was a week later. He was dead, man. You know,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, on that unit, bro, that it's just that look, the politics that, like I said, once they started all that, the Hudas had their hand in the decision making too. You see, so they can manipulate things, man. I mean, how they didn't see it, I have no idea. But I said, until y'all fight back, because I mean, look, there was this guard Baker, and the Vato tried to act like he was cool. He was half Mexicano. He looked like a güero, but he spoke perfect Spanish, and he choked this dude out and he couldn't kill him. So they said he picked up the bean bar. You know how big them bean bars are, right? To open the bean chute with. I mean, that's some thick metal. Man, he hit this dude in the head, and that Vato was from Fort Worth. I went to elementary with him. Crenshaw. His name was Crenshaw, his last name. And the Vato was in a coma, and then he died. And they didn't do nothing to Baker, dude. And they didn't do nothing. They threw him back there in Seg with us. Is what they did. They threw him back there where we were in Seg. But then a month later, there was this Ruka, Miss Harmon. Man, she was cool, beautiful, and she was a straight little, little super freak. Anyway, her Vato was a high rider. He was out there on them horses. He said this Mexican was trying to escape. He shot him right in the forehead. We're like, what was he running backwards or what, man? You know, hey, but look, bro, when that he was in a coma for 3 days. When he died, hey, brother, I put this on everything. When he died, that Warden Drury, Donald Drury, I'll never forget that piece of shit. He bought every guard on that unit a drumstick ice cream when that inmate died. You hear me?
Yeah, so you
And they
celebrated.
and there was some Christian, Miss Riddle. Uh, oh man, I can't think of that. Oh, and there was a couple of Christian guards. They wouldn't. They said, "Man, I don't want nothing to do with that." And they're the one. She told me. She goes, "Don't say nothing, all this." But and she goes, "I don't want nothing to do with that." She was cool, man. If she saw something, she would report it. If you did something illegal, one of them guards, just bust somebody in the head when she would report it, man. She wasn't trying to hear all that. She goes, I ain't got no part of that, because she was for real. She was for real about her faith. But yeah, and so like, look, when I'm there at Robertson too, bro, they started that level stuff. But let me tell you, some of the vatos are there. These dudes that they know me, and they know my family. Joe Bravo, they call him Gorilla. He was letra for Pecos, West Texas area. He had that area. Copper, he was from the valley. Everybody knew Copper, man, and Woody was from Lubbock area. He had that area. All these dudes, but there was some stuff going on in the streets in San Anto, dude. They were fighting. They were trying to split things up, and they were killing a lot of good people. I mean, it was all in the papers, dude. This dude, La Corbata, Ty, they called him Ty, man. Ty Morales. And he's in his garage working on his car. A couple of dudes think they're cool with him and pulled it out and killed him. You know, Another one he had a red light, blocked him, shot him up. He had a kid with him, killed them all, and they weren't playing. And these dudes, this is one of the reasons that they try to cross Bobby out. They wanted to cross Ram out because I told him, hey, bro, like I say, and there's still dudes that from San Anto that know me, and we still got love for each other because they know me, man. They know I took care of my business out there. But look, that Canton, French Robertson back there in Seg, that Canton was against Herb. They were against him. He was already and he was about to go to the Fed. They had pulled him out of Lompoc. No, he was already at IDX. Yeah, he was in IDX. He was in Florence in the Supermax already. And it's trying to break up. They think he's underground. He can't run nothing no more. Well, they had that one wrong. So like I say, they started drop Cowboy, man. Onofre. He was my neighbor. He got out. And man, hey, bro, he had a son with this wet eye. He had all these plans to start a business. He got out, went right back to San Antonio. They killed him too. But all I said was, I told these dudes, I said, look, man, they were sending around letters that were coming and letting everybody read them and stuff. But it was obvious that they were against Herb. They wanted to have some dude, Chewy Leva and Blue Azul, to run things while whatever. But I said, you really think everybody in this canton is gonna side with y'all? I promise you, he knows everything that's going on. And y'all are going back to San Antonio. I'm not from there. I could care less. But y'all have to go back there. And hey, bro, it wasn't long, man. Sure enough, the more Wheelas came out. And they got lawyers, bro, that send things, man. There ain't no stopping nothing. The word's gonna get there. And hey, man, they're like, yeah, this dude got something for you when you get out. See? And I'm
Yeah,
like, crazy. Why would you write your stuff in man? I just couldn't. And I asked some dudes I was close to, hey man, what do you think? And they didn't even want to answer me. Like, oh man, you know what, Bobby, I gotta live there, man. You know?
I read about that one about the Adams man. He was driving a Corvette, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, like I say, it was all about money, man. It's always going to be about money and drugs and people taking this or taking that or whatever. Who knows, man? But all I know is that there was a group of people that they were not trying to hear taking Herb out of any position, none, and it cost a lot of people their lives, dude. And like I say, they crossed me out, man, some dudes, because hey, man, and like I say, I forgave this dude, but his name is Eddie Eslora. They call him Eddie Boy. And he ended up being an ex and he got saved. He's a Christian, but he straight up crossed me out, dude, with some vatos from H Town. They were letras, but Lalo, and I can't remember the other one's name, man. Binga or I don't remember, dude. But anyway, it just crossed me out because look, when I was in prison, I was writing, but before I started writing my books, I wrote letters, pen pals. I had women from all over the world. Not well, I had Australia and Germany, and then Oregon and Israel. I had one Jewish chick, so I had people from all over writing me and sending me money. Envelopes, tablets, anything I could get. That's what I had coming, books, and I was selling everything. So he wanted me to help him with the weed line and hook some ruka, whatever. It's cool. If I got time, I'll do it. So I told this dude one time something, and he says something like, "Hey man, with this ruka, I used to write Lalo, but don't say nothing. She don't want nothing to do." And I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to get in all that, dude. And I said something. I wrote him back. I said, "Look, just why don't y'all let me write her? I'll write her, and you or Lalo don't have to know about what happens." And I was just kind of joking. Well, a couple weeks later, when he's hungry and needs a ramen noodle, he tells Lalo, "Hey man, Ram said he was gonna write this chick. He don't care about you or me. Send me a noodle." And I'm like, man, you chicken shit. You sold me out for a ramen noodle, dude. You know what was up. But they were mad at me because I used to say things when they were. I'm like, you're supposed to be an organization, and you're man. And like I say, I got a big mouth sometimes. I say that's the type of dude that's going to be on the stand in 10 or 15 years testifying against y'all. And they hated it. But there was this dude, Chango, and he was from San Antonio. He was old school. He'd been in there for a long time, their fama. And he goes, and they were saying, no, este vato de foros. And he goes, hey, San Antonio no corre nada aquí. San Antonio don't run nothing. This is a fama. This is letras. Ain't no San Anto or nothing. And just stop making it about that. And that's what they were doing. These dudes from the Orejones, they would gang up and cross people out, man. I'm like, but like I say, dude, everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason. And all these things and stuff that I got to pick up and learn and hear, hey, man, I can use it, for my writing or when I talk. I talk at churches and stuff for the youth. It's to keep them out of prison, dude. It's tell
Yeah,
all I do is it's not like the movies, it's not like the rap songs you're listening to, and it's not like the video games. When you get in there, you're gonna wish you weren't in there. You hear
yep,
me? Even the vatos that got it going on, man. A part of you just wants to be away. You hear me?
yeah.
Yeah,
You're right about that, man. You know,
yeah, man.
that's why I never decided to join no type of organization, man, because I was already 13, 14 years old. I was already on my own selling dope. You know what I mean? I had older brothers. Like I told you on the last video, the do mundo. He was somebody that I would look up to. Like
Yeah,
I would see him. He would always have his shooter. He would always have one or two guys with them,
yeah,
always armed. This guy was a role model, man. Somebody that I wanted to be. Because the way he carried himself, the way he didn't do no drugs, he didn't drink no alcohol. He
oh
he was
wow,
always, he was always sober, man. So he was always conscious of what he was doing.
yeah, he was on top of his game, man. That's the way it's supposed to be, man. You know what? All my role models, most of them were convicts, dude. My deals. I mean, they were hustlers and all that, and they carried themselves a certain way, dressed and all that. But they were addicts, bro. You hear me?
It's the
And
hard.
I said I'd never do it. I said I'd never do that. I made money. I sold weed, pounds or whatever. But man, in 1986, I lost six people, my grandma and five uncles, all in 1 year. And man, that was it. That's the year I started banging heroin. You hear me? And selling it and all that. And it went down, dude. A year and a half later, I was locked up. 87, 88. That was it. That was it. I mean, prison because I started doing little all the county time in 92. I mean, 82, 83, man.
Absolutely.
But finally, 86, 87, I hit this. Behind drugs, man. I couldn't stop. I don't care how hard you want to. You can't do it. I'm not heroin. I don't know, man. It was real hard. I have to go to jail or rehab. I couldn't just kick cold turkey. I couldn't.
Yeah,
I
you can't.
try, and then it's hard, man.
All right, man. 'Cause I got a friend. You know, he started doing heroin, black tar, like in 2003 when it hit Dallas. When it hit Dallas, it was black tar. And then they
Yeah,
started cutting it up. And
yeah,
he got onto it where he started banging it up. Some of us were snorting it. We were like, all right, let's try it out. Snort it up. We would cut it up with Xanax and snort it.
that cheese or that cheese.
Yeah, but he was banging it. And then we're like,
Yeah,
oh man, you're going on the wrong road. You know what I mean? And sure enough,
yeah,
man, he's on the revolving cycle. He'll go do 2, 3, 4 years, comes out, spends 2, 3 months, back 2, 3, 4 years. It's like a revolving door for him.
yeah, man. Hey, look. So Beaumont. Check this out. There was a father and a son there, and the son had life, and the dad was going to get out, right? And like I say, dude, I didn't mess with these weirdos because I knew a bunch of them that I was cool with, but those particular dudes, I didn't know them. You know what I mean? I didn't have no school, vocation, nothing with them, so I never talked to them. But I knew they were father and son. You could tell. But this vato said, he goes, yeah, man, the jefito supposedly gave up the son. You hear me? Or took put the muleta on him, and the son got life, and then the dad got like 20 or something.
He got to
But
date.
they were still, yeah, he had a date, but they were still chopping it up. But look, so there was a widow there, and he was solid. That he was a wood. I don't know if he was dirty white boy because they had dirty white boys there. The vato, he was in our pod too. I'm telling you, in our pod right there, dude, there was a lot. And they called him Potbelly. He's from Dallas. He was robbing. He's a bank robber. And he said, "Hey man, all my family when they showed the video of the bank robberies in Dallas, he said as soon as they saw it, they knew it was me because I mean he has a big old belly, dude. You can spot him anywhere. You hear me?" And
Mhm.
yeah, hey, so this Vato, he's I don't know, it was one of his homies or whatever. They decide they're going to put more cameras up. They need more cameras because there's still blind spots and people are still getting hit. You hear me? So all the chompas, all the speakers get together and say, "Look, man, nobody helps these laws put their cameras up. They put their own cameras up." you know. Well, there was that one Weddle. He was in maintenance. He was a grade one. I mean, he's making 65, 70 bucks a month. And he said that's all he had coming in. He goes, "Man, I ain't going to lose my job and I'm going to go to work." Well, he went to work half a day. When he came back for lunch, they tore him up. They had to care flight him off. And if anybody else was thinking about helping and putting cameras on, it was done.
That was
It
it.
took a lot longer. It took a lot longer for them to put their cameras up. You hear me?
Yeah.
But they weren't playing. Like I say, when they set their mind to something, and they could do some good, man, like that. That was a good idea, man. But all the other little stuff, that little nitpicking, don't sit on those benches. Look, these belong to the natives, and this belongs to the black. Nobody else can sit their nalgas on those benches, dude. You hear me? It doesn't matter if nobody's out there. Don't sit there. And I mean, just little stuff like that, dude. It's not about respect. No, it ain't. Don't get the word respect. Don't get it twisted. I can not have any respect for a person, but I'll never disrespect them because that's just not the way I am. But I don't have respect for a dude that, he goes to prison for 8, 9 years, gets out just for 1 year, long enough to get some poor chick pregnant, then goes back and keeps doing that. And I'm supposed to respect this dude? No, I didn't expect nobody to respect me, but nobody's going to disrespect me. See,
Yeah.
just because I did 17, 18 years in prison. All that shows is I was an idiot. I kept going back. I kept thinking, man, I can sell this shit and not get caught. No, there's other ways to make money. Now I got money. I'm at my job. I can come in here in the conference room if I need a room. If I want to go to the hot tub or the pool right now, I can go jump in. I mean, it's great now. I don't have to look over my shoulder. I preach once a month to addicts and homeless people and just say I was a heroin addict and I was homeless, but Jesus changed me. End of story. I don't nothing. It's just, hey man, all I do is work now, and I do podcasts. It's called the Savior, all about Jesus. But I was doing the prison. But man, when I start talking about prison, homie, I'll start getting angry. You hear me? Because of the hoodas, and it's really
Yeah.
TDC. Because in the feds, they don't mess with you. Them guards rarely, like on Bloody Beaumont, bro. They would not walk in your cell without your permission to shake it down. One dude did, and boy, they didn't touch him, but that negro got right in his face and said, "Man, I got a life sentence. I'm gonna die in here. I'll kill you if you walk in my cell again." That dude never walked in there because he didn't know no better. He didn't know. But the other guards, hey man, they're just there for their paycheck. They make good money too. They see us tattooing, and the only thing they're gonna stop is a fight. Other than that, man, they could care less, man. You
Yeah, they
know,
don't want nobody to die. They don't want nobody to die on their watch. You know what I mean?
and you keep the same Huda, and he gets to know every. See, that's smart. You just move people around, but that one Huda, like there's this short, stocky negro. He was cool, man. I can't remember his name either, but he didn't. Dixon. Dix or Dixon, yeah, it's Dixon. He didn't mess with nobody. He was cool with the raza too, man. He cut for the raza. Hey, man, if we're spreading, he goes, hey, man, can I have one? He would eat tacos from the raza's food, dude. You hear me? But he knew everybody on there because, hey, bro, I went to the eye doctor and they gave me some glasses, the big old Chomonator 5000. But I mean, I needed them, so I put them on. But man, I didn't want to be recognized. I got a hat. In the Fed, you got a little hat too. I put my hat on. I had them, and I was watching TV, and he walked by and he stopped, dude, and he looked. He goes, "Oh, okay, Ramirez. I didn't recognize you. See, he knew this is a face that I mean
Yeah,
that quick,
really.
dude. Because hey, man, because you can in and out move. You can go anywhere. You can go in another go somewhere's houses, just don't get caught. Hope nothing happens, But they call another one, you just take off. I mean, we'd go everywhere, but every now and then something happens. They shut the doors or something happened. I just go up there, hey man, I just came to get a bar of soap, man. I ain't got nothing, And they're just like, get out of here, dude. Don't be over here no more, Yeah, they like I say at Beaumont, they didn't mess with you, man. They didn't mess with you.
Okay, bro. What do you say we do another one tomorrow? We're at about an hour right now.
Okay, cool. Because we still got to talk about the guerras, the wars.
Yeah, whenever you want, bro. I mean, like what time do you have
I'm
tomorrow?
off tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. Sundays and Mondays are my off days,
So
so it
somewhere
don't
around
matter.
8 or 9 in the morning, 10 o'clock.
Let
Or
me see.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, about 10 or 11, because I'm gonna come over here. I come and check the levels in the pool, all the chemicals, and I can just come in here, bro. Like we didn't have no problems. This was
yeah,
on the phone, but now I'm gonna do the laptop next time, okay? Because I'm
yeah,
telling
do
you,
your
it's just
laptop, bro.
better quality.
Yeah, do your
Okay.
laptop, bro. All right, all right,
Okay.
all right.
All right,
See
bro.
you tomorrow, bro.
Cool.
Have a good night, bro.
All right.